What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition. This is your boy NarikChase, and in this video we are going to be reviewing Helsing, the Darkness, and the Light. Now, this is an interesting graphic novel because it is done by okay. Helsing, the Darkness, and the Light is a 2014 graphic novel which consists of 4 issues, unfortunately. Um, but the artwork was But the graphic novel was written by Pat Chan, Tony Brasini. The artwork was done by Tony Brasini, and the color was done by Fran Gramboa. And the story does follow the author of Abraham Van Helsing, who receives a mysterious journal written by her father. And now that she's desperate for answers, she's trying to find out more about her father and his whereabouts. Liesel Van Helsing discovers that her journey is just being manipulated by her father's greatest enemy, who happens to be Count Dracula. Now, I'm not all into the whole gothic steampunk thing like that. I think it's an interesting concept, and I like the supernatural gothic steampunk thing. Now, honestly, when even from like the cover of this, it seems like it's going to be a very interesting read. And to be honest, I was really surprised by how interesting the story itself was. Now, is it something original? No. We've seen this story been told time and time again, but that doesn't mean that it can't be told with a fresh face and a new coat of paint. The story does follow Lucille Van Helsing. She's this awesome vampire hunter. She's kicking ass. She's an inventor. She's exceptionally smart. She's really beautiful. She's sexy as hell. And she ends up receiving this journal. Now she doesn't know what happened to her father, and then she finds out that this journal was written by her father, that's detailing his adventures as a vampire hunter and how he came to be with how she came to be conceived. She ends up picking up the trail. It's interesting story. It's really good story, and it does go at a really good pace. You can see what motivates Lucille to be a vampire hunter as she takes up the reins in the disappearance of her father. You got some interesting twists. Like I said, it isn't really original because a lot of the things that's going on, you're like, okay, I kind of saw that was coming, but it doesn't stop it from being interesting nonetheless. There's a lot of dramatic moments. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of good humor. I thought the mystery aspect was pretty good, and it's really about this girl's journey. And you want to see her character. You really want to see her character solve this mystery, in which she does, and it comes with a pretty. Like I said, if you've seen this story done before, then you'll know what the twist is. But it's still a pretty interesting read, nonetheless. I really thought the story was really good. Now, the story does feature some pretty interesting characters. Lucille Van Helsing is pretty cool. She's, of course, the strong female protagonist. And at some points, about really the only negative I could say about the character is she feels like a OP at moments because if vampires were as deadly as she claims them to be, or as the story claims them to be, there's no way she could take them out single-handedly the way that she does. Now, I never really liked that aspect. Now, if it was like if it was she doesn't have like powers or anything, she's just like a regular person and she's trained. It's like if you watch Blade or if you watch Buffy, yeah, you can see the reason why they kick vampires' ass because they have powers. But outside of that little aspect where and honestly, even with some of these, a lot of the moments, she's like just wiping these vampires out. And I'm like, okay, make them more challenging or something. That was one of the issues I had with Blade the animated series. was that the girl on there, she was just killing vampires left and right. And I'm like, she has no powers. They're supposedly super strong and stuff. So outside of that little aspect of the character, I actually liked her. I thought she was funny. I thought she was witty. I thought she did have a bit of growth as a character. Yes, she's fun. Yes, she's sexy. She's kind of the stereotypical cliche female trope, but she's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. She doesn't take things seriously. She's funny. She's exceptionally smart. I really like her character. I really dug her character. Allied with her is Jonathan Harker, who's this bookstore owner that ends up getting pulled into the fray. I really liked his character. I didn't think he was useless. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying, where she's a normal person just killing vampires, and kind of like he's like a normal person, and he's able to kind of kill. So I wish they'd worked that out a little bit better. But I actually like Jonathan Harker. I thought he was pretty cool. There's a chick named Mina. I really enjoyed her character. I really wish that they would have done more with her character. I thought she was good, and she kind of rounded out the group a good bit. Now, one character that they did introduce in this that I thought was exceptionally cool, but I really wish that they could have just gave him more to do, was Hades. And Hades and Lucille kind of have this fling going on. Hades is this like tall, dark, and handsome guy. He's mysterious. And I really like the chemistry that these two characters have. And like I said, unfortunately, the book does not flesh him out enough. You want to see what he is capable of doing. You want to see this history between these two. I really enjoyed him as a character. I thought it was really interesting. Now, the overall bad guy, of course, is Count Dracula. Dracula is suave. Dracula's smart. He's cruel. I really enjoyed this interpretation of the character. He would be what you would think Dracula would be if he was just being an evil asshole. And this whole history that her family and him have, I thought that was pretty cool. And like I said, the twist isn't something that if you've seen this or read this before, it's not going to shock you. But honestly, it did kind of get me a little bit. Honestly, I really appreciated the artwork. I liked the grim look to the dull colors gave the overall story a really grim look, and I thought that was really cool as well. I really appreciated the how detailed it was, even when it comes to like character expressions. I thought they did a great job with the expressions as well. A lot of the characters could tell a lot in their facial expressions, in their eyes. I really thought that the gore aspect wasn't overly done. I thought it was done just enough. I really appreciate the action sequences and how they were portrayed, how everything felt a bit fast paced. I really like that. It kind of did jump around enough for me to keep the sequences very engaging. I love the costume design. I'm not one of those guys that like all my superheroines in comics have to be like 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 they have to wear form-fitting clothing. Like they have to be very revealing. Like they have to be extremely over sexualized. I dug that they did that they. I dug that they did that with the character. I thought it was pretty cool, and I don't think that was just strictly. I mean, yes, it is eye candy, but I didn't mind it. I don't think it was like distracting or anything. I did ask myself, well, if she's fighting vampires, shouldn't she be wearing more tactical clothing? But I'm not gonna take dot points off of that. I did like the character designs and everything. I like the vampires. I thought they were pretty horrific when they just went all vampire mode and everything. So overall, the art style I did not mind. I really appreciate it. I thought it was good. Now I would have to say that I thought that I have to give thumbs up to the writing. I thought the writing was actually it was simple, but it does a good job. The writing does present an interesting story with good characters, and with the pacing and the transitions, I thought they were as good as well. I love the blend of adventure, horror, supernatural, the steampunk, the gothic look. Everything just looks, and it does carry an interesting and grim tone, which I think is which I think personally is good for telling a story like this. There is some humor, and I love the dialogue. I love the witty back and forths. I love the one offers. It's done exceptionally well. Zenescope Entertainment. is I like Zenescope Entertainment. They done some more other issues and things that I thought were pretty cool, pretty interesting as well. One of my favorites being their incarnation of Robin Hood, which I think that she is mentioned in this, I believe, but it was pretty cool. I really like the interpretation of the Helsing character. And they do have, admittedly, this thing where they have to have all of their chicks look super fine and kind of wear like revealing outfits and stuff. But I'm not gonna dock any pay. I'm not gonna take points off of that or anything like that. But the one thing I will say that I didn't like about in the writing again is the vampires. I feel like if they are supposed to be these horrific creatures that are just wiping humanity out, and they just don't feel like a threat, especially concerning her character. There are moments where she's fighting like 10 of them, and she's fighting them like. And I'm like, no, if they're as bad as you say they are, it doesn't matter how much training you have. You probably should have more weaponry or be more tactical with the weapons that you have. Because a lot of times she just hit carrying stakes. So that's about really the only thing. I've never really liked media like that, where they portray vampires to be like this horrible thing, and then some normal person could just wipe out like 10 of them at a time. So I really wish they'd kind of worked that out a little bit, but I didn't see any other problem outside of that. I really enjoyed seeing. I even enjoyed the encounter between her and Dracula. I wish it would have been drawn out a little bit more, but I like how Dracula actually doesn't get beat. Like she can't beat Dracula like that. So that's one thing I really enjoy to make up for what I felt was wrong with the regular vampires. Again, there are some relationships that I really wish would have been fleshed out a little bit more, perhaps in future installments. I wanted to see more relationship between Lucille and Hades. I wanted to see more relationship between Lucille and Mina, and I wanted to see even more of this back and forth for her and Dracula as well, and possibly even see what was hinted about Hades and Dracula. So there's a lot that could have been, and I hope that they do pick it up and continue this. But having said that, Helsing, the Darkness and Light is a pretty interesting and entertaining read. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was awesome. It does everything you expect from the vampire fiction. It has action. It has horror. Has supernatural. It's a pretty good adventure. It looks great. The story that's being told is cool. I like the characters. Lucille is pretty badass. Don't have any problems with the character or the read itself. Outside again of the whole vampire aspect, I really thought it was great. So in the end, I will have to give Helsing the in the end Helsing, the Darkness and the Light definitely deserves a 4 out of 5. And it's actually one of my favorite vampire graphic novels. I thought it was a good read, and I highly recommend it for every. I think that it's actually a good read. I highly recommend this to anybody who enjoys the lore of Van Helsing or vampires, or just love reading about strong female chicks as leads, kicking ass and taking names. So, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what are your thoughts. Oh, let me know what are your let me know what your thoughts are of Helsing Dark. So, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what are your thoughts are of Helsing, the Darkness and the Light. Did you read it? Have you not read it? What are the things that you liked about it? Who's your favorite character? What do you think they could have done better? What do you think they did worse? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. We'll catch you guys later. Peace out.